Hello guys, so we are progressing with the functionality of our application, so that's why our code regularly requires an update. Okay, so what we will be working on now is we want, for example, let's say if we send a request to the certain user and we are searching for him among our friends or among all of the users, if we send a request, we want to show that this request has been sent. If the user sent to us a friendship request, so we want to update the icon as well. So to do this, we will have to implement some changes, definitely in the SQL command, which search for the users. Okay, so I will go to the access.php, and especially I will go to the function which called select users. This is the function which is a select users, so I will copy this function and I will go to the PHP My Admin panel to our Facebook database and I will insert here. And the last limit offset, I'm going to remove it. And here, the changes that we will be making, this ID, let's say we'll make example 2, and here is also 2. Okay, so first of all, I would like here make changes. Instead of requests searching any ID of the request itself, so we'll search for the user ID. And it means if there is, for example, user ID is the one who sent a request to somebody. Let's say if Tom is sending request to Jerry, so Tom is user ID here. User ID is Tom. So Jerry will be friend ID, so the one who should accept the friendship. Okay, and we want to cast it as request underscore sender. Okay, then we are writing requests.friendID as request underscore receiver. Okay, so we can click go and we'll check because in my case there are no records as friends as requests. So I'll create several. So I'll click here insert user ID. Let's say user ID 1 is sending a request to user ID 2 and the user ID 3 is sending request to user ID 2 as well. Okay, very good. And then I'll create several friends. User ID 4 is the friend of user ID 2. And the user ID 2 is a friend of, let's say, user ID 5. Okay, very good. So we have now the records among the friends and the requests. Okay, so we're going to the SQL command and I will just insert the one which I've copied. This like, I will just put there A because A is the letter which the one which we can see everywhere almost. So I will just copy this and I will execute it. So it shows that these are the users which are found and let's say no one is requesting for being a friend. So we're going to requests and here, yeah, we need to make some minor changes. Here, it is quite limited where we write user ID equals to user here we'll write user ID and we'll write here one more statement or user ID users.id equals to requests.friend ID. So in both of the columns we will search it. Okay, I will execute it. So here we go. So request sender is ID 1 and request receiver is ID 2. And request sender is ID 3 and request receiver is ID 2. So me, Daniel Craig, is trying to add as a friend ID2, which is a Jennifer Lawrence, and Bradley Cooper is trying to add Jennifer Lawrence as being his friend. Okay, so that is it, and we will continue. Here we'll write one more left join statement. So we're writing left join friends on users.id equals to users.id equals to friends.userid or user id dot id equals to friends.friend id. And here we will add a new data which we want to fetch from the server friends.user id as we want to cast user id as friendship underscore sender, so the one who sent a friendship request, comma, and a break, new line, friends dot friend ID as friendship underscore receiver. So the one who accepts the friendship. Okay, let's execute that one. Okay, here we go. So it became a quite large table. So we see here that Nicole Kidman, she sent a request to user ID 2, which is Jennifer Lawrence, and she accepted this. And Jennifer Lawrence, which is user ID 1, friendship sender, sent a request to Jakey Chan, which is user ID 5. Here we go. So this is the logic we built. So I will simply copy. I'll just simply copy this SQL command which we have just wrote. The entire SQL. I will comment the old one. I'll just keep it there, just for your records, guys. And here we will insert new SQL command. So that is the one. Okay. And I will select the entire SQL command and I will put it into quotation marks. Okay, excellent. Now here definitely I'll write something like SQL equals to this statement. Okay guys, so this is what we want and this is what we wanted. Okay, we now need to replace these variables with these data with a certain variable. So this 2, which is in my case, I will replace it by ID, and A here in the between the percentage marks, I'll replace it by the name that we're searching for, and here is as well. Okay, and the last one will be to add this limit and offset as well. Okay, I'll make here a break. I'll insert limit and offset here as a new line. Okay, so like that. And of course, there must be a semicolon at the end of this command. So this is how it looks like. So make sure that everything here is fine, that in your case everything is shown everything is written without any spelling errors and everything is written correctly. Okay, so this protocol will allow us to track all friends, the status of the friends, status of the requests. Okay, that is just beautiful. Now we're going to the bottom and we will write a new protocol which will allow us to delete the user. So here I make it 2 break gaps and I will write here delete friend, open and close round brackets, open curly brackets. In the round brackets we're passing the variables user ID, comma, and $symbol friend underscore ID. Okay, this function deletes record in the friends table. Okay, means it deletes friends. So first of all, we'll write the SQL command, which is super simple. SQL equals to, in the question mark, SQL, then delete from friends where user underscore ID equals question mark and friend underscore ID equals question mark as well, and let's put here semicolon. Then we'll prepare this statement for the execution statement. This arrow con arrow prepare SQL command semicolon at the end. Then we're checking for the errors if open and close round brackets, then curly brackets. In the round brackets we'll put exclamation mark and then we'll write statement, $symbol statement. And in case error is found, so we'll write throw new exception, which is statement error. Excellent. So after that, we will bind parameters instead of the question marks. So we are writing statement arrow bind param. Here we're putting question mark as the first parameter, I, which means for the which states for the integer. Here we're writing user ID, comma, then friend ID. And so then we're putting semicolon at the end. Then we will execute this statement. Statement arrow execute semicolon at the end. Let's assign the result of the execution to the new variable, which is a result. Okay. And finally, we want to return our result. Return space result. Okay, so let me write a comment for you here. That is SQL command for execution. Here we are preparing SQL for execution. Here we are checking for the errors. Here we are appointing variables instead of question marks. And here we are executing. Here we're returning the result. Okay, then we'll go to the friends.php. Here we'll write one more scenario for deleting the friend. So here we'll write else if open and close round brackets, then open curly brackets. Here immediately I'll write for you the comment deleting the friend. Very good. And here we'll write a comment in this, not a comment. Here we'll write again dollar symbol underscore request, then square brackets, then quotation marks and the square brackets. Action coming out from, look, this is, we consider it as one variable. So let's put it in the round brackets. So this variable, this one variable, which is in the round brackets, will be equals to, let's say, delete. Okay. So first of all, then we need to check for having any errors. So we can do it simply writing the if statement, or you can just copy paste it. Here we have written it. That is the one, reject. So this is the statement. So we'll just copy paste this. After that, we need to appoint this to R. We need to appoint this to new variables, which will be user underscore ID equals to HTML entities dollar symbol underscore request square brackets, then quotation marks, and then in the quotation marks we'll write user ID. And the same we are doing for the friend underscore ID, and here we'll write as well friend underscore ID. So here this is safe mode of casting received information. Okay, after we got appointed this, so then we need to execute. So this block of code, the entire code for the reject, we can just copy paste this. Okay, I'll copy this part where we, let's say, execute not delete friend, we'll execute not delete request, we'll execute delete friend. Here we go. And here result, we'll check for result. If there is a result, so the saves will be 200 and the message will be friend has been deleted successfully. Else could not delete a friend. Okay, very good. And here don't forget to put semicolon. Let's guys now to quickly test it. Here localhost, then we write fb, then we write friends action. Here we put delete ID. Let's check for the ID, guys. Here I'm going to the friends, so we have user ID, let's say 4 and friend ID 2. So here I write user underscore ID 4 and friend underscore ID equals 2. Let's click friend has been deleted successfully. I'm coming back and I'll check it. So the friend got disappeared. So that is superb. Okay, another protocol which we wrote, it was for selection requests. That is not requests. I think the action is search. So here, instead of confirm, we'll write search name A, ID let's say 2, and limit offset. So no users found. What about here name must be A. So here are all the user. Excellent. So you know how to validate the JSON, so it shows me that everything is working fine with the PHP and the backend. Okay, so we'll now move to implementing it to the front end. So here, guys, I just stopped rather than rewriting in order to save your time. That's why I copy pasted, because this all will have it already written, guys. So this is all, it's already written there. Okay, guys, you might have a difficulties by understanding the function which we have wrote in the access for selecting the users. That is the one. So I'll just copy and I'll explain it quickly. We're going to localhost php myadmin SQL and we insert here. And ID here I put 2 because ID number 2 is having all types of requests I created. And name I replace by A between the percentage mark because A is very popular in all of the names. And I click go. Okay, so we are checking, is there request sender and request receiver, friendship sender and friendship receiver. Let's say ID number 2 is receiving a request from ID number 1. In this case, when you are receiving the ID, always guys, the icons are different. So for example, this is the icon to receive the friendship, but this is the icon for sending the friendship. So in order to play and to trigger which icon to show, that's why we put this one. And for the friendship as well. So this is how does it work. Okay, so since we go now and implement this in our project, you will have a better idea. Let's go there and do it right now.